Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is a Valentine's Day set and I'm using a couple of Naio nails powders here, and then I'm using the Moyra cover powder. And so we're just going to come in and all I'm going to do is basically just do a full coat of each on every single nail, because it's kind of like the base, if you like, or the background for the design that we're going to do. And I decided for this set I was going to experiment again. I apologise because I've got a cough and I am struggling to do voiceovers. In fact, I'm just struggling to speak full stop. It's nothing sinister. I've had this for ages. It is just a cold that is lingering. Right, so yes, I was experimenting with 3D silicone moulds again. I had to try 4 times. You haven't got all of them in because sadly some of it wasn't in shot, but I will explain. So we've got metallic gold on the middle finger, and then we're coming in, this is choc brownie. I don't use this colour very often, it reminds me of other things, but for this set I decided let's go with it. It doesn't come out very often. It's got to come out and make an appearance occasionally, which sounds even more wrong when you when you know what it reminds me of. Anywho, sometimes I do tickle myself when I do voiceovers. All right, and then the thumb is going to be choc brownie as well, and the ring finger and the index finger are both going to be the Moyra cover powder. Okay. So when we get to the silicone mould, which is coming next, first off, I filled the mould with gel polish. And as you'll see from the footage, it comes out and it looks good, but it's felt squishy. Yeah, you know, it didn't feel right. And you do see it on the video that when I actually give it a little bit of a poke, it's not cured throughout. It's too thick, basically. So the next one I tried, I did 1 layer, I cured it, and then I did a 2nd layer and I cured it. Again, it didn't cure all the way through. So the 3rd time I did it, I did 1 layer and cured it, and that still didn't cure properly all the way through. As in, like, I did 1 thin layer. So at this point, I've kind of gone, this isn't working. So what I did do is I moved to, I've got a Silcare base, which is a cover, is it base 1, Silcare base 1, and it's a cover gel, which is a light pink, but it's a builder gel. And I used that instead, and that worked absolutely perfectly. My plan was that I was going to put it on this middle nail and then encapsulate over the top. So it looked like, you know, when you see people who manage to make a love heart out of acrylic on the nail, and it looks fantastic, and I'm just going, no, I can't do that. No. So I thought that would be a great way of doing it, is do it in the silicone mould and put it on the nail and, you know, attach it to the nail and then cap over the top. But it wouldn't have worked if you're using a builder gel, because it doesn't curve to the nail. You know, it sits a little bit too proud. And so you'd end up with a really high nail. Or, I mean, you could file it over the top, and because it's the same colour all the way through, like Filmo is, it would work. My concern is the fact that because it doesn't sit properly to the nail underneath, that I don't know, I'd have to experiment with that one before I was saying, yes, that's a great idea, let's go with it. But I didn't manage to do that with this set because it went wrong. By the time I'd realised that I could use builder gel in my silicone mould instead, I had already capped the nails. It was like an afterthought, because after 3 attempts I was like, feck it, this isn't going to work, we'll have to go with something else. And then I looked behind me and saw my base 1 and went, that'll do. So what I do instead is I stick it on top as almost like you would do a gem, you know, a big large gem instead. So it wasn't quite how I wanted it to go, but I still like how the set turns out. Excuse me. Oh my god, have I not even finished putting the acrylic on yet? I feel like I've talked for absolutely forever and we're still not even there. Right, I'm going to just let you watch the rest of this part and I'm going to come back in a moment. Okay, so this is attempt 1 of the disaster that was the hearts. As I've already explained to you what went on with those, so I'm not going to explain that again. We're going to move on to the next part. Well, I am for voicing over. As you can tell, my voice is not holding out very well. So I apologise, but I'm going to move further forward. I would just like to say a thank you to, I think it was Viola, who recommended using my stamping swiper, whatever the hell you call that, to clear off the mould before putting it in the lamp. That worked lovely. Thank you very much, and would save me an awful lot of time if you watched me faffing around with the flowers. I can't remember who. Well, I think it was either Jill or Heather that called them eyelash flowers. Oh my god, that tickled me so much that now every time I look at them, that is what I see. That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, it looks like, no, yeah, so this is me trying to attach this, and this is where you're about to see it go wrong. So I was just putting some base coat over the top. Now you can use gels and acrylics together. You must just make sure that you cure the gel. It's not uncured gel underneath your acrylic or in between your acrylic. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be informative here, but my voice is failing. Anyway, this completely fails anyway. It's completely ridiculous. So I'm going to move on to the next part for my voiceover, but I'll leave this for you to watch. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to do a bit of foil. And we're going to use some leopard print. Now, I'm not a big fan of leopard print. Not that I, don't like it. It's just not really my thing. But with the colours and everything in this design, in leopard you can have some nice, lovely lingerie, or dressing gowns and things like that. I was like, you know what? So the thought process started with leopard print. and a lovely foil that I've got. In fact, I got a few lovely foils for that. And that's where the colours and the choices came through. Because, you know, you may not want red or pink. Yeah, we know me by now. I don't do classic valentines. I kind of object to doing anything that is themed, to be honest. I prefer just to sit and create. But on the basis that people do like to watch themed designs, here you go. So I'm just coming in and I am just making a smile line out of the foil gel, and then I will cure that. I warn you now, fingers may be removed. I can't remember whether that's in the shot video or it isn't. I've got the flexi hand, and yes, I'm about to do it. So I have the flexi hand and all the fingers come off. I got this from Glitter Planet. I love this practice hand. I've seen a lot of people use the solid moulded hands, and that's why they never do the thumbs, because the thumbs are always in a really weird place and you can't get to them properly. And the way that they're clipped on, and I just don't see them as being actually very helpful. Whereas I love the flexi hand because I can take the fingers off and pop it in the lamp, and, you know, especially if I'm doing a lot of gel designs and things like that, it works great, and there's lots of room between each finger. The only thing I would say is, yes, they do the tips for these fingers that you can buy from Glitter Planet as well. But they come in a bag of 500, and as with any of the tips, most of them don't actually fit. You know, like when you buy a bag of 500 tips for yourself, you'll only use certain sizes. Well, only certain sizes of those ones actually fit the practice hand, which I find really annoying, because I think, well, if you're selling them as the tips for these hands, it should be all the ones that fit that hand. Otherwise, why am I paying for 500 and only 250 would fit? And they're not cheap either. Anyway, that's my little moan. So it's been in the lamp, and now I'm just deciding which, because originally I was going for this middle one. That was the one I was eyeing up. So it wasn't a leopard print as such. It was but it was an animal print. And then I was like going, no, I'm going to go for the leopard. So yeah, I was toying between the two, and eventually I did settle on the leopard print. And then all I'm going to do is just rub that in. Now, this is the nice foil that's got like the silver back into it, which means it's really easy to use. This will cause you no issues whatsoever. And that's a big thing. If you are new to foils, the backing of the foil is very important to how well it's going to work and how much grief it's going to give you to do it. Where you've got the ones with the foil, this is the wrong silicone tool as well, people. Where you have the ones with the silver on the back of them, they will work really easily. Where they are clear, then they won't. They will be more difficult, and I would recommend you put a gel polish to a similar colour underneath, because it will allow it to be a bit more forgiving. And you won't see some of the little errors is the wrong word, little missing bits on it. Okay. So yeah, and nice easy smile line there, people. Ta-da! You wanted smile lines? I gave you a smile line. I just made an easy one. For the index finger, I didn't do a smile line. I kind of did like a swoosh. It's not a swoosh because it's covered more. I don't know. I did a different shape. Anyway, I'm going to pop the finger back on. The tips I'm using for this doesn't quite fit properly, but hey ho, you know, we use what we've got. I'm not that pedantic on these things, you know, they're going in the bin afterwards, so it's really not a big one to me. And I'm not going to buy expensive tips just to chuck in the bin. I don't use full cover for anything other than my practice hand. Okay, so we're just going to do exactly the same to this one. And then when I've done the heart, and I'm going to stick the heart on, I then decided that actually I wanted to use the foil gel on top of the heart and have a bit of the foil, so it's a leopard heart. I know, just because I like to be even more out the box. So that's what I'm going to come in. And I'm not sure whether or not I keep that in the footage or I didn't, you know, whether I recorded that bit or not, because it was kind of an afterthought. Obviously these have all been capped, they've all been buffed. So yeah, here we go. I'm going to come and stick the heart on, and then we're going to top coat over the top. And I am going to love and leave you at this point because I genuinely cannot actually talk anymore at this point. So I'm very sorry. I am very grateful for everybody that comes along and watches me and enjoys my art. Yeah, thank you very much. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.